tracker Jason McLaughlin. And Jason was at the scene of that horrific accident earlier today. Jason, tell us how you describe this area.
Just really mass chaos. As I pulled up to that location, was just able to see all the, the cars that were there and just stacked on top of each other, and it was just one of those scenes you walk up to, and it was just absolutely horrific.
I mean, we're looking at this video that you shot right now, and it's really hard to wrap your head around how this happened. I mean, cars are in all different directions. It's hard to even recognize some of these vehicles. So many semi-trucks were involved, as well as regular trucks and small vehicles. It's amazing to think that there were actually a lot of people who got out of this okay. Tragically, 6 people lost their lives. There was freezing rain in the area at the time, and I know you came up to this scene after the accident happened, but describe to us what you saw when you came up and how conditions were when you arrived on the roadways.
As I arrived there, the conditions down on the kind of the side roads leading up, they were a little bit slick. Actually, when I got on my vehicle, fell down on the ice in the parking lot. There wasn't much of it, though. I mean, maybe a few hundredths of an inch was all. As I started to go up the embankment, though, up there towards the where the accident scene was, it was slick up there. But again, it was under, I'd say 5/100ths of an inch of ice. It wasn't much, and it just doesn't take much. It was 25 degrees outside, and the rain shower had just occurred before that. So our temperature column was where we were receiving rain, not snow. So we actually had rain, and it was freezing on contact onto the surfaces. And that whole accident scene actually ended up there on top of an overpass that stretched roughly almost half a mile or so. So it's really just all those conditions came together perfect to create just really a horrifically dangerous situation, because you can't see it. As you hear the term black ice so many times, that's exactly what it was, and unfortunately, this is where we are now.
Yeah, it can really catch you off guard too. I think overpasses, that might be the key to all of this. If road conditions were okay in other spots, you get something elevated. We always say bridges and overpasses ice up first. I know investigators are looking into that, but you had to travel to get to the scene. What was that experience like for you?
I've been out all morning kind of monitoring the roadways here across North Texas, across the Tarrant County area. Anywhere from Fort Worth down to south of Fort Worth, and they really weren't all that bad. But as you said, what happens is it doesn't take a whole lot, and not everybody slows down. And kind of looking back now, as I'm remembering kind of scenes there along I-35 as I'm driving before that, and I had a pretty decent little sleet shower, and it covered the roadway with sleet there on I-35, yet I was passed by multiple large vehicles that were still going 70 to 80 miles per hour, even while that was on the ground. So,
yeah.
It's heartbreaking, to be honest, and that's the scene I saw whenever I walked up. That's the feeling I had, was just knowing there was no way that everybody made it through that alive.
Yeah, it really is so tragic. We have very heavy hearts today. Thank you for sharing your eyewitness account of this today. Storm Director Jason McLaughlin, thank you so much. And unfortunately for Dallas, this was a terrible, tragic event this morning with not a lot of wintry weather, and they've got more in the forecast as we head into the weekend and into next week too, Tevin.